where we have to determine the V output at this 6 kilo ohm resistor. Okay, and we have this independent voltage source. We have here independent current source, and the independent current source is 2 milliampere value. The independent voltage source is 6 volt. Selecting the solution method using loop analysis, we can do three. We can choose three non-reference nodes. We can choose three meshes, and one current source, one super node. So we can either choose loop analysis or mesh analysis here. Okay, because using node analysis, we need three. We will have three non-reference nodes. It means we will have three equations using nodal analysis. If we use loop analysis or mesh analysis, we will also have three meshes. So three equations. So let's say we choose loop analysis here. Then first we select the loop currents. So in this case, we use meshes. Remember, meshes are loops that do not contain other loop. So in this case, it will be here, here, and this here. Okay. The current source could define one mesh. So because the current source here, the value of the mesh current here will be equal to this current source value. Okay. Then we have this I2 in the second mesh. Then another mesh here, I3. So first we write the loop equations. For loop 1, I1 equals to Is. For loop 2, here negative Vs because it is a negative voltage drop because it is a voltage increase. Negative Vs plus here for K, I2 negative I3, right? And here plus 2K I2 negative I1 equals to 0. At loop 3, we start from here for K multiplied by I3 negative I2, and then here 6K multiplied by I3, then plus here 2K multiplied to I3 negative I1. Since we need to compute the output here, yeah, so what we need actually is to solve just I3 here, the current that flows through this 6 kilo ohm resistor. And we divide the loop equation here by 1 kilo ohm. Coefficient become numbers, and the voltage source become milliampere. So we use the fact that I1 equals to Is here, which is 2 milliampere. Okay. So here we put for the loop 2, okay, we put negative Vs here to the right hand side of the equations, and 6I2 comes from this one, yeah, divided by 1K, right? 4I2 plus 2I2, so equals to 6I2, negative 4I3, here negative 4I3, then I1 plus 2I1, then here becomes plus 6. Yeah, plus 6. Then for loop 3, we have here negative 4I2, 4K, 4 divided by 1K is 4 times I2. Then we have here 12I3 from 4 plus 6 plus 2, 12I3 equals to 2Is. 2Is comes from here, 2K plus Is, so equals to 4 milliampere. So from here, then we can use substitution and elimination, adding and eliminate the parameters. So we obtain here 28I3. So what we are concerned of is I3. We want to just finding I3. So we just eliminate I2 here. We multiply here with 2, and we multiply the loop 3 equation with 3. So 12 plus 12 is plus 12 plus negative 12 is 0. So we obtain here negative 8 plus 36. Yeah, plus 36 I3. So we obtain 28 I3 equals to 10 times 2 plus 4 times 3. So I3 equals to 32 divided by 28 milliampere. So from here we can obtain V output using Ohm's law. Yeah, 6K multiplied by 32 divided by 28 milliampere. We obtain 48 over 7-volt. Okay. Okay, so let's now go to the next subtopic of this chapter, which is the supermesh. So in node analysis, we have learned about supernode analysis, right? Similarly, also with loop, we have super loop, or with mesh, we have super mesh approach. This way, it is for current sources that are shared by loops. Okay, for example, this one is our current sources, which is shared by this loop as well as by this loop here. First, we select the mesh current. So we obtain here 3 mesh current. For example, here I1 here with basically I1 equals to 2 milliampere. We have I2 here, whose value will be also 4 milliampere, because we have here it's not 4 milliampere, right? But because this current source is shared by I2 and I3. I3 is on the top mesh. Then write constraint equation due to the mesh currents sharing the current sources. This is the current sources. So I2 minus I3 equals to 4 milliampere, right? Because the direction of 4 milliampere here is the arrow is to the right, which is basically the same direction as I2. So I2 is positive, negative I3 equals to 4 milliampere. Then we write the equation for the other meshes. I1 equals to 2 milliampere. Then we define a super mesh by mentally removing the shared current source. The shared current source is 4 milliampere, which is shared by loop 2 and loop 3. Okay, so we have this super mesh, engulfing the shared current source, the 4 milliampere current source. So, and we write the Kirchhoff voltage law for that super mesh, starting from here. Negative 6 plus 1 kilo ohm times I3. Then here we have 2 kilo ohm. Here I2 minus I1. Here we have 2 kilo ohm I2 here, so this part. And we have another 2 kilo ohm I2 negative I1 here. And we have here 1 kilo ohm, which is equal to I3 negative I1. Yeah. Then coming back to the original point, so equals to 0. So we have now 3 equations. I2 minus I3 equals to 4 milliampere. I1 equals to 2 milliampere. And this third equation. So now the model is complete. We have 3 equations to solve 3 unknowns. So current sources. So this is the general loop approach when we have current source that's shared by mesh. So the strategy is to define loop currents that do not share the current sources. So even if it means abandoning the mesh. For convenience, start using mesh current until reaching a shared source. This is the shared source. Then at that point, we define a new loop. In order to guarantee that if it gives an independent equation, one must make sure that the loop includes components that are not part of previously defined loops. Okay. A possible strategy is to create a loop by opening the current source variable. For example, here the shared current source. So here we have I1, and we have the I2 here and I3 here, and the super mesh or loop approach will be engulfing this shared current source. The loop equations for the loops with current sources are I1 equals to 2 milliampere and I2 equals to 4 milliampere. Yeah, because now the I3 is does not interacting with this current source. It goes surrounding it. So that's why we can define I2 equals to 4 milliampere, while I3 is the current flowing on the outer part, yeah, of this 4 milliampere current source. So the loop equation for the third loop is minus 6 volt plus 1 kilo ohm I3 here, plus 2 kilo ohm I3 plus I2, yeah, because this 2 kilo ohm there flows two currents I3 and I2. Then plus 2 kilo ohm here I3 plus I2 negative I1. Okay. And here plus 1 kilo ohm multiplied by I3 negative I1. Okay, because I1 is opposite to the I3. So the mesh currents obtained with this method are different from the ones obtained with a super mesh, even for those defined using meshes. The I1, I2, I3 is different. So the previous approach is using super mesh, while this one we use the third loop engulfing already there is no the third loop or the third mesh is not in this place, but rather it goes immediately surrounding that independent current source. An example here: find voltages across the resistors, yeah, the R1, R2, R3, and R4. For loop analysis, we notice we have three independent current sources here, yeah, 1, 2, and 3, and one current source, which one? Shared by two meshes. This one, yeah, this one is shared by the loop or the mesh here and the mesh here. So by careful choice of loop currents, we should make only one loop equations necessary. Three loop currents can be chosen using meshes and not shared by any source. So first, we choose this one. Yeah. Then the other one here, the IS2. And then we choose this third one. And now we need a loop current that does not go over any current source and passes through all the unused components. Yeah, we need another loop current that does not go over any current source and passes through all unused current. Which we find here. So this is engulfing the shared current source. Yeah? And then it goes also, so it does not go to any current source. Yeah, this I4, it does not go through this IS3, but it passes through the all unused component, unused component, which is not yet shared by the other three loops. Yeah, for example, this voltage source, and then R4, R1, R4, and R3. Then we write the mesh equation. For loop 1, I1 will be equal to IS1. Loop 2, I2 will be equal to IS2. And for I3 will be equal to IS3. Then, okay, sorry, this is also upside down. The Kirchhoff voltage law for this remaining loop, in the lower part here, yeah, Vs, this part, yeah, this is a voltage decrease, yeah, voltage drop, plus here R3 multiplied by I4 negative I2, because I2 is this one counterclockwise. Then plus R1 multiplied to I4 plus I3 negative I1. Then plus R4 here multiplied by I4 plus I3 equals to 0. Then we solve for the current I4. Yeah, which one? This one. We solve for the current I4, and we use Ohm's law to compute the required voltages. The required voltages is this one. So then we obtain V1 equals to R1 multiplied to R1 multiplied to I1. Yeah, this one I1, because V1 here is drawn with the positive polarity at the left side and negative polarity on the right side. Yeah, so according to passive sign convention, then I1 will be positive and I3 and I4 will be negative. So V1 equals to R1 multiplied to I1 negative I3 negative I4. And V2 will be equals to R2 multiplied by I2 negative I1. V3 will equals to R3 here multiplied to I2 negative I4. Yeah, I2 is entering into its positive terminal, while I4 is entering through its negative terminal. So I4 sign will be negative here. Okay, then V4 will be equals to R4. Where's V4 here? This one, R4 multiplied to I4 plus I3. Okay, I3 plus I4. And from here, we can calculate each of the voltage across the resistor. Okay, but the same problem can be solved by using node analysis. Instead of using voltage loop analysis, we can also use node analysis. That problem. But then it will require the equation because we have here three. V2, V3, and V2 is defined already equal to Vs, right? So then we need three equations coming from V1, V3, and V4. Yeah, V2 will be equal to negative Vs. Then from here, from this node, V1 minus V3 divided by R2 equals to plus IS1, negative IS2. So this is from the perspective of current going out from the node. And then at the node V3 here, minus IS3, plus V3 negative V2 divided by R3, plus V3 negative V1 divided by R2, plus V3 negative V4 divided by R1 equals to 0. And then finally at this node V4, negative IS1 plus V4 negative 0, yeah, this is 0 reference voltage, divided by R4, yeah, this is supposed to be R4, sorry. This is R4. Okay. Then plus V4 negative V1 divided by R1. Sorry, this is V3. Yeah, this is supposed to be V3 as well. Okay. So that will be the case. Okay. What if you have circuits with dependent sources? So if we have circuit with dependent sources, similar like when we do node analysis, we treat the dependent source as if it were an independent source. Yeah. Then we add one equation for the controlling variable. Yeah. The controlling variable means that what is that dependent sources depends on, which parameter on the other part of the circuit. For example, here, the mesh currents determined by sources. Here, I1 will be equals to 4 milliampere, and I2 is here equals to, this one is a current source, voltage source, voltage controlled current source. So I2 equals to Vx divided by 2K. So this will be the controlling variable. Then at mesh 3, minus 1 Kx, yeah, minus 1 Kx, because this is a voltage source, plus 2K multiplied by I3 negative I1, and then plus here 1K multiplied to I3 negative I4 equals to 0. Then at mesh 4, 1K from here, I4 negative I3 plus 1K multiplied to I4 negative I2 plus 12 volt equals to 0. And the controlling variable here is Ix and Vx, right? So Ix can be defined as I4 negative I2, right? Ix is the current flowing through this 1 kilo ohm resistor. It means basically it equals to I4 negative I2. Then Vx is here, is the voltage across this 2 kilo ohm resistor. Using Ohm's law, we can calculate it from 2 kilo ohm, the resistor value, multiplied by the current flowing through it, which is basically I3 negative I1. And why not I1 negative I3? Yeah, because according to passive sign convention, yeah, the current is positive from when it enters into the positive terminal of the potential here, the voltage here. So since we assign positive value, the left side is higher than the right side. So it means that I3 will, according to passive sign convention, the I3 sign is positive. I1 sign is negative. So Vx equals to 2k multiplied to I3 negative I1. Combining equation, so divided by 1k, each one will be divided 1 kilo ohm. Then we have, or multiplied, yeah, actually multiplied. Yeah. I1 equals to 4, I1, this one, I1 plus I2 negative I3 equals to 0. I2 plus 3I3, yeah, this one, 3I3, negative 2I4, negative 2I4 will be equals to 0, equals to 8, and then finally negative I2, negative I3, plus 2I4 equals to negative plus 12, equals to negative 12. Yeah, from here, move to the right-hand side of the equation. So then we have 4 equations with 4 unknowns. So this you can easily put into the matrix, yeah, and then you can solve using MATLAB or Octave. Yeah, here, and you can put into a matrix form. So this become 1, 1. This third equation having a 0 coefficient for I1. The fourth equation also 0 for I1, and this first equation having 0, 0, and 0 as the coefficient for I2 and I3 and I4. Second equation is 1, 1, negative 1, and 0 here. Third equation is 0, 1, 3, negative 2. Fourth equation is 0, negative 1, negative 1, 2. And the right-hand side coefficient will be 4, 0, 8, negative 12. Okay, so here easily we can calculate like this one, yeah, and solving using inverse matrix, yeah, and we obtain the current to be, in this is in milliampere. Yeah, be careful with the unit. So here the current will be in milliampere. 4 milliampere negative I1 will be equal to 4 milliampere, I2 equals to minus 6 milliampere, I3 is negative 2 milliampere, and I4 is negative 10 milliampere. So here if we have dependent sources, another example, yeah. Here we have voltage controlled voltage source, and we are asked to calculate the V output here on the right hand part of the circuit. So find the V output. Okay, so if we use mesh current, then we use it like this. Okay, and the other one here, or alternatively we can have one here and one mesh current, another one is this loop current, so you can choose. So you remember, mesh is particular type of loop that does not enclose any other loop currents. So we treat the dependent source as another voltage source, yeah, one independent voltage source. So from, if you are using the left way, the left side way, the left side way, here then we obtain negative 2 Vx from this mesh 1 plus 2k I1 and plus 4k I1 negative I2 equals to 0. If we use this method, then negative 2 Vx plus 2k I1 plus I2, yeah, this one, because in this 2 kilo ohm resistor flows two currents, I1 and I2, while at the 4 kilo ohm it only flows one current, A1, yeah, for kilo I1. So this is because it uses one mesh current and one loop current. At the mesh 2 here, then it will be negative 3, this one, plus 6k multiplied to I2 plus 4k multiplied to I2 negative I1. Well, here at the loop 2, if we depart from here, negative 3, yeah, here negative 3, or oh no, if we depart from here, negative 2 Vx plus 2k I1 plus I2, negative 3 plus 6k multiplied to I2 equals to 0 in this loop. So now we can express the controlling variable, which is Vx here, in terms of the loop current. Vx is the voltage across this resistor, the 4 kilo ohm resistor. So basically Vx equals to 4k according in this left side method. Then Vx will be equals to 4K multiplied to I1 negative I2. In this right side method, however, the Vx will be equals to 4K multiplied to I1. So this is the difference, yeah, between, because of we define different mesh current or loop currents. But eventually the result should be the same. So solving that from here, we after replacing and rearranging, we obtain these two equations, yeah, depending on which method we are using, and we will have I1 equals to 3 milliampere, yeah, in this case, I2 equals to 1.5 milliampere. However, here the mesh loop currents will be I1 equals to 1.5, while I2 equals to 1.5 milliampere. But we will obtain the same solution, yeah. V out equals to, in this case, V out will be equals to 6K multiplied by I2, right? And I2 here for both methods have the same result. I2 equals to 1.5 milliampere. So the output equals to 9 volt at either methods. Yeah, so they both have the same results. So notice the difference between mesh current I1 and loop current I1, even though they are associated to the same path, yeah, in these two methods. I1 here and I1 here, they are associated with the same path here, going through this dependent 2Vx dependent source, and then 2 kilo ohm resistor, and here 4 kilo ohm resistor. Similarly here, but we obtain different results for I1. In this left side method, we obtain 3 milliampere, while the right side method, we obtain 1.5 milliampere. The selection of loop current simplifies expression for Vx here. Yeah, if we choose this part, this way, then we will have simpler expression for Vx. Yeah, Vx is just expressed by I1. Yeah, for Vx here equals to 4K multiplied to I1. While in this part, it for Vx equals to 4K multiplied to I1 negative I2. So depends which way you use. Yeah. Okay, it's 3:32. I think we have to stop here.